Hey guys, Marissa at kitchentablestamper.com. Today I've got my brilliant butterfly brilliance stampa stack for you. We're gonna make 7 cards, 2 of this Thanks for Being You design. They're all just a little bit different and unique based on what butterflies we take out of the paper and the pieces in the kit. This Thanks for Being You design. So we've got one that's portrait and one that's landscape. And again, you can see they're very unique depending on which bits of designer series paper and which butterflies we use. And then this Hello Sunshine design, we've got 3 of that design. And this will be the one that we start with. And these are Wonder Recipe number 1 modified cards. So if you're familiar with the Kitchen Table Stamper Wonder Recipe, it's a 1-sheet wonder. It's a cutting diagram for a 6x6 piece of designer series paper. So we are going to cut our butterfly bijou paper, 3 sheets of your choice. I went with Calypso Coral and this kind of pretty Bermuda Bay, and then the multicolor butterfly, the small one that coordinates with the large pattern that we're going to cut our butterflies from for our focal pieces. So I got these 4 to start with. These we're going to cut according to the Wonder Recipe, and this one we're going to die cut the butterflies out of. Now that's like the starting place in video 1 here. If you're watching the series, this is the place to begin, but this is going to apply to all 3 videos in the series, all 3 card designs. So let's get a paper trimmer and our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Let's do our cutting and our die cutting. All right, our first design is this Hello Sunshine. So I'm going to slide these guys aside, grab my paper trimmer, and we're going to cut up our 3 sheets according to Wonder Recipe number 1. So this is a 6x6 sheet, and we're going to make them 2 4x3 pieces, 1 2x5 1/4 piece, and then we're going to have a little scrap. Right now is when you want to take a look and see if there's any orientation concerns. Like this one, I want my butterflies to go this way. So I'm going to cut this one by itself so that when my pieces come out, they're oriented the way I want them. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut off 4 inches. There we go. And then I'm going to cut that 4 inches in half at 3. There we go. And then I like to use my Wonder Recipe cutting diagram kind of off on the side there to hold on to my pieces. So I just use it to sort. This Wonder Recipe diagram is printable on the blog, kitchentablestamper.com. If you just follow the link, if you're on YouTube, where it says project details below, click here. That'll take you to the post. The Wonder Recipe is printable underneath the embedded video. Our next cut is at 5 1/4. So there's our 2x5 1/4 piece, and we have a little scrap. I'm gonna just pop those right into our little template here. And that just keeps my pieces all for me. Now the idea is that we'll cut our 3 pieces of designer series paper, mix them and match them, and we'll end up with 7 gorgeous cards. So I'm gonna do these 2 sheets the same way. Now I did tell you earlier that this is a Wonder Recipe number 1 modified. So the fun part about the Wonder Recipes and about stamping is, crafty girls do what they want. So I am going to cut a couple of these pieces down a little bit further to stretch that butterfly pattern. The butterfly pattern has a white background, and I sometimes find white backgrounds hard to layer on top of. Designer series papers with a white background are sometimes a challenge for me to layer the focal images and the sentiments. So I wanted to actually cut it down a little bit so we didn't have quite so much of that white. It was more of an accent than a piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece right here, and I'm going to take this stack right here, and we're going to cut these down just a little bit further so that we can spread out our papers. Oh wait, there's one more that I want to modify. So like I said, this white background, it's a little bit hard for me. I feel like the white is a little heavy and hard to layer on top of. So we're going to take those, we're going to cut it 2 inches so that they're in half now. These are 3 by 2 inch pieces. Let me just go ahead and put that back in the grid right where we took it from. Now this one is 2 inches by 5 1/4. I'm going to cut this in half, and I'm going to put that right back in the grid where we got it from. And then I'm going to cut all 3 of that little top section of our grid in half. So now I've got 2 by 3s. All right, so then once your paper is all cut, you're good to start your wonder recipe. There it is. All right. All right, so now let's go ahead and do our die cutting. We need our focal butterflies. We're going to take another sheet of that Butterfly Bijou Designer Series paper. This is the one with the big butterflies. That amazing Brilliant Wings die set has the large die that will cut out all these butterflies at one time. So let's line that up, and then we'll give it a crank. I do love this Designer Series paper. It did sell out from Stampin' Up! Very quickly. If you'd like to get the optional class packet for this class while supplies last, the class packet is available at kitchentablestamper.com/shop while supplies last. It has a quarter package of the Designer Series paper, so plenty for you to make these cards and then some to play with. So I know that it sold out very quickly, but class packets for this Stampin' Stack series are available while supplies last. All right, so there's our magic. This is the magic of this paper. There's our focal butterflies for 6 of the cards. Now you get 2 sheets in your kit. So I went ahead before the video and I cut out the second sheet. So I have all these butterflies to play with. I even went through for the magic of television and cut out butterflies from the smaller sheet and just fussy cut them. So I'll show you that in just a minute. But you're going to, at this point, die cut butterflies enough for 7 cards. So I went ahead and did the whole second sheet of this and just die cut it ahead of time. So that'll be more butterflies than we need for our 7 cards, and we'll have so much fun making other cards with them. All right, so let's get this slide aside and we'll get started with our crafting. Now, if you get the optional class packet, you've got your embellishments, your ribbon, quarter package of Designer Series paper, and in the kit is, oh, isn't that gorgeous? See, you'll have so much fun playing with this paper, is the kit for 7 cards. We're gonna start with the 3 that are Hello Sunshine and slide the rest aside. And in the kits, you'll find that your punching is done for you. So let me show you that. These are the cards that we're doing here. And inside of each of these card kits, you're gonna find the rectangle, the stitched rectangle for you. You're following along without the kit. That one is the stitched rectangle dies. It's H, so about in the middle, it's the 3 1/4 by 1 5/16. And we've got one of those for each card die cut for you. We also went ahead and did your punching for your flowers. So in each kit, you'll have either a petal pink flower. We cut those from petal pink cardstock for you using the strawberry builder punch and the small bloom punch. We also cut you a sprig from mint macaron. So grab your scraps and do your punching, one for each card. And for this design I did, and you'll include 2 pink of each size and 1 so saffron. All right, so let's just go ahead and get started with our cards here. I've gone ahead and done a few steps of the process here because we are doing 3 cards, 3 of this design. And let me show you what I've got here. Got the pieces from my kit. And I'm gonna go ahead and emboss my card fronts. So I've done 2 already. Let's do our third card front. I'm gonna do the Parisian Flourish embossing folder on these petal pink cards. If you got the kit, they're all petal pink. If you're cutting your own, it's a petal pink card base. You'll need 3 of them for this portion of the Wonder Recipe for this design. And they are 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and embossed on the front. We do your punching for you. We die cut things that don't come from the bundle, but we do not emboss for you or die cut your butterflies when you get the kit. You'll get a good head start though with the kit and all the materials that you need. All right, so there's our card base, and you'll notice a difference. We're gonna go ahead with the Whisper White craft ink, and we're going to swipe the ink on the card front and just highlight that gorgeous texture. See that? It's just beautiful. Really adds to the romance of these cards. If you don't have this Parisian Flourish, the swirls and curls from a few years ago might be a nice choice. Look at how gorgeous that is. Okay, we're gonna set that to dry. All right, we're gonna slide this aside and pop back to our kit here for just a moment. In the kit, you've got some Whisper White cardstock. You're gonna need your Butterfly Brilliance bundle again. Inside this fantastic die set are these gorgeous kind of lacy butterflies. Aren't they beautiful? We're going to cut all of our butterflies at one time. And so I'm going to go ahead and lay out every butterfly, and I'm going to crank it through. You're going to need your butterflies for every card. We just lay them out so that you can get the best use of the paper. And we're going to crank them all through at once and then rinse and repeat. Okay, let me grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and we'll get going on that. So I've got my dies, all 5 of the smallest butterflies. We're not going to use the big swallowtail in this particular project. Got them laid out nicely so that they're all on the sheet. And I'm going to crank through all 5 at one time. I've found that with these detail dies, you'll want to crank them forward and then backward to really get a good cut. And then maybe even we'll go forward again. We're going to repeat this process until we have all of our butterflies for all 7 cards. So you won't see me do that in part 2 or 3 of this video. We're going to do it all at once. We're truly stamping a stack of cards. So we've cut that a couple of times. Let's take a look at this. You'll see, look at all that great detail. Now let me bring in my trash bin. And all you do is just touch these wings, and look at how easy those little bits fall right out. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut all the butterflies that I need and weed them out, and then I'll be right back here. For our Hello Sunshine design, you're going to have to cut 3 of this butterfly, 1 for each card, and then 2 of this butterfly, kind of the largest of the ones we cut with the pointy wings, and 1 of this largest with the round wings. That's if you want your cards to be just like mine. Of course, you can cut your butterflies and arrange them however you like. You'll also notice I did a couple of quick things ahead of time. I assembled some of my flowers, and using that gorgeous Just a Jade ribbon in my kit, I've tied some bows just to help us speed through the process a little bit here on the video. So let me just slide my kits to the side, but I'm going to take my white rectangles and let's stamp our greetings. Do you love that Hello Sunshine greeting? I certainly do. I'm going to stamp it with Memento Tuxedo black ink. And that greeting came from the stamp set included in the Simply Citrus all-inclusive card kit. I love this stamp set. That card kit is amazing, but it's really even worth it for the stamp set, especially if you're like me and you're a citrus lover. I love fruits. Strawberries and citrus are my favorite ones, and they make really great treats. So good card kit, even just for the stamp set. The fonts on these are kind of curly, but not too whimsical. I really love the greetings, and that's what we're going to feature in our Stampa stack here. So Hello Sunshine. I liked how the black ink for the sentiment repeated the black elements in our butterflies, the bodies, the details on the wings and the outlines. It kind of brought that dark element from the Designer Series paper butterflies into the rest of our card design. All right, now it's time for some fun. We've got our Wonder recipe right here with our pieces all cut. And you'll see this design is a fun, simple mix and match of 2x3 pieces. So we'll use 2x3 pieces that are here, and we're going to mix and match one stack of them at a time. Let's dole out our pieces. So for this one, I'm going to give these two, and then that's this finished design. For this one, we're going to deal out this piece and this piece, and that's this finished design. And then for our last card, we're going to deal out the last two pieces in our 4x3 segment, which is this coral and butterfly paper. All right, so there's our first 3 cards with the Wonder Recipe papers. Now let's go ahead and deal out our butterflies. So we've cut those butterflies ahead of time. And let's see here. For this Hello Sunshine design, we've got a little pink one that we cut from the Designer Series paper. And then this Hello Sunshine design here with the coral and the Bermuda Bay. Got another little coral butterfly. So let's put that one. And then our last Hello Sunshine design with the coral paper and the butterfly paper. That one has one of these orange butterflies. So let's put that guy there. Now you'll notice that there's some little ones. I just cut these right out of the Designer Series paper. I did a little fussy cutting. I did those ahead of time, so I'm going to just deal those out onto our cards also. It was the last thing I did when I was designing the cards. So at this point, you could put together your cards and then choose which pieces you like together. Our little coral butterfly here gets another little tiny coral one. Isn't that cute? The scale in the paper and how we can play those two papers together. Cut that right out of the paper. All right, let's go ahead and get these guys assembled. The first thing I'm going to do is glue down all of my Designer Series papers. And I'm going to use multi-purpose liquid glue on this card. I like the multi-purpose liquid glue because we have the embossed background. It's got that ink on it. We're going to use a generous amount of multi-purpose liquid glue, and it'll hold to that textured paper really nicely. We're just going to give these guys a little toggle kind of off center and glue them to the card. Our butterflies are going to come in and give this some asymmetric balance. So there is Now our Hello Sunshine greeting. Keep your adhesive to the very center. Pop that guy down over our designer series paper. Now our big butterfly. I'm going to fold up the wings a little bit, add some adhesive to the body, and then we're going to tuck that underneath our sentiment before it's completely dry. Isn't that just gorgeous? Oh, I love the texture, the visual texture, the physical texture that brings. Next up, our little butterfly, same thing. We're going to fold the wings up. Just hold on to the body, fold up the wings. A little bit of multi-purpose liquid glue on the body. Here too. And then lastly, let's get our little white lacy dude. Put some glue on the body. And we're going to come in with the little white one. Little pop of color right in there. And each of these cards, I think, is going to have some uniqueness depending on how your butterflies kind of flutter, what direction. Isn't that beautiful? Now let's look at our flower. I'm going to slide this guy to the side for just a second and get a Stampin' Pierce mat in here. So there's my Stampin' Pierce mat, flowers. Let's press in the center. Take your pick tool. And then let's pluck off the leaves. So we're going to just pluck off that bottom section from our sprig. We'll put some multi-purpose liquid glue on the small flower right in the center and drop it right into the bigger one. On the back here, a little more glue. And let's add our sprigs together. I'm going to glue them first with a little dot on that bottom leaf. And then give them kind of a crisscross. See, so the leaves kind of curl out from each other. Then we can add that flower right on top of there. Now we've got a little flower embellishment. Isn't that cute? Let's get our Stampin' Pierce mat out of the way. Bring this guy back in here. You got the optional kit. There's a half a spool of just jade ribbon in the kit, and there's half a package of these elegant faceted gems. Let's go ahead and tie a little bow. You don't need much. Just start with maybe 1.5 inches or so as a tail. And there's your bow, just a tiny bit. You'll have lots of just jade ribbon to play with the rest of your butterfly bisou paper. Isn't that sweet? Let's trim away the tails. Let's get some mini glue dots. And we're going to go ahead and adhere our flower embellishment. We want the leaves to kind of go up and fill some space there. Love that. And then don't flatten out that beautiful cup shape that we put on there. Our bow, another mini glue dot right in the center. And we can budge that up against our flower. And now I love these elegant faceted gems. Let's apply one to the center of our flower and then 2 for embellishment wherever you like. Each card I think is going to be just a little bit unique. Even my copy Hello Sunshine of Hello Sunshine has its own little unique flair where things have kind of fallen and worked out. All right, so that's the first of our design one. I'm going to go through and buzz through with these guys and just put them together. We'll probably speed up the video for this part since they're the same design, just slightly different as we use our different butterflies and designer series papers. All right, and there they are. Hello, sunshine. Hello, sunshine. And hello, sunshine. Our first three in the kitchen table stamper butterfly brilliance Stamp-A-Stack class. Now that's video number 1. I'd like to invite you back to come and join us for video number 2, where we will use the remaining 4x3 pieces from our Wonder recipe. So these remaining 4x3 pieces to make these two similar yet very unique cards. Thanks for watching today. I'll see you in video number 2. If you've got questions about the project, email Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com. And to get the optional Stamp-A-Stack class packet, buzz over to kitchentablestamper.com/shop. To shop Stampin' Up! 24/7, buzz over to marisaalvarez.stampinup.net. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in video number 2.